If you're wondering just what's happening with Spider-Man and how the collector boxes and play booster boxes are moving, are they selling, who's after them? Well, you've come to the right place, and this is the video you're going to want to watch. How badly is Spider-Man still burning as a set? How are the sales after Cyber Monday being received by players? Has the product fallen low enough to attract an audience to finally buy it and clear it off the shelves? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out for another video. Now, I understand that Spider-Man is a very hated product by a large segment of the Magic population. The fact it didn't go over well really doesn't come as a surprise to many of you, but for some of us who are just kind of looking forward to an integrated system of all kinds of weird IPs, it didn't seem like the worst idea. Now, that translated into horrible sales, because if you're not buying the product, and as the cards and spoiler season unveiled, we saw a product go from $1,000 on pre-order, partly spurred on because of what happened with Final Fantasy being such a popular product, seeing things like Edge of Eternities, Tarkir, Dragonstorm go over really well with the Magic groups. It seemed like it was a no-brainer. It had to go up. But somewhere in there, as all those spoilers for Spider-Man appeared, no serialized cards, something went horribly wrong. There's no other way to put it. And it looks like Wizards of the Coast probably just printed way too much. And that led us to where we are right now. When we look at this product going back over the years, are we going to see a product like Magic 30, where it just kind of continues to be in the veins of every player? And it is something you kind of get that weird, achy feeling when you talk about a bad set or a bad idea that didn't translate well? Or is something going to happen that turns it all around somewhere in 2026, 2027? Well, it's still in rotation. Are we going to see these new sets appear that are Marvel related and turn everything around? A lot of players are betting on just that. They are expecting the market to flip, and there are scalpers and flippers right now buying this product as it continues its nosedive into the oblivion pool of value. A product that went from $1,000 and just started sinking and sinking and sinking until it's way down here, and nobody knows exactly where the bottom's going to be. But I tell you right now, I think we're almost there. Now, if I take you guys over here and we take a look at what it's selling for currently, these are yesterday's screenshots of TCG Player. You can see the lowest sale is $330, the highest is $389. In that price range, that's where we're finding sales. Now, again, this is not a truckload of sales. This only goes on for like a page and a bit, okay? So it's like 40 sales in total. So if we carry this over, that 40 sales in a day, by the way, isn't great when you're looking at collector boxes that are still fairly new. And looking at the high end on TCG Player of what players are hoping to get for their boxes, well, you can see here the high being around $1,000 US a box, the low at $650. And of course, there are lots of players anywhere after that are trying to get some kind of value return on the product, or are so stubborn, they're willing to hang on till the end, till all of the lower end product gets cleared out and they are the last survivors. This happens all the time actually on platforms like TCG Player, where you'll have the lower sellers who've got to clear things out or just want to get rid of it, take their losses, lick the wounds and move on. There are the stubborn holders who just stick it out, because sometimes things do turn around. Now, if we look at what this is going for on Amazon, you can see here 18% off, $374.98 is the US price to buy this product, okay? That's right in the range we saw in TCG Player. It fits in very well. And of course, they're saying it's a discount, but let's really think about how much product is probably still out there. How much is still available? What's being absorbed? Black Friday, we saw some sales as the price was on, as things were dipping down and the price drops were coming in. We also saw this with Avatar: The Last Airbender, but Spider-Man did move a lot of product as the price was falling. Somebody out there must believe that there is some turning point where this thing could shoot back up in value and that there is money to be made, because it's not an average player buying the product to have, right? They're not going to crack this open and have a good time. They want to sit on this. There's no reason to buy 20 or 30 boxes at a time. Now, I went locally and I said, okay, how many can I put inside my cart? Now, this store let me get 49 boxes. That's $29,000 Canadian, okay? Which puts it somewhere around 20 grand US. I went to another store and I could get 47. That's another 28 grand, okay? Another $20,000 US, give or take a few bucks. There's a lot of this product still out there, but I was surprised by those 2 stores because those stores originally had 100+ boxes just a couple of days ago. So that tells you the product is moving as the price falls. There is a marketplace for Spider-Man. There is an audience who wants to buy it. And whether we believe they're suckers or not, whether you believe that person's going to be stuck with it for years in some backdrop, somebody's buying it. Somebody is spending money. Now, my bet, if I was going to make one, if I was a betting person, I think it's scalpers and flippers expecting something to come around with the new Marvel sets this year. It would make sense. If there's Spider-Man cards in the set that could draw an okay audience for playing, but then we have new cards come along that synergize those or activate other cards that are inside the Spider-Man set, not to mention the Soul Stone, you might see things turn around for things like the Play Booster box. I don't know that there's going to be enough of an audience to want or desire to open collector boxes. When you look at the money to be made, you say, okay, I can get it for $370. Well, what are you going to get, $800? Somehow you have to find a way that's going to draw that kind of value. You got to look at the cards inside the set. What are we going to go for, the Cosmic Soul Stone? 0.0000001%. The Thanos Soul Stone, yeah, you can get some good money for that still. You can get around $1,500 US for that card, I think. Still in the market. Somebody can put a comment in the comment section. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. I think last time I was looking, it was around that price range. There's a lot of wiggle room on those 2 cards, but most of the other cards are not selling that well. The Spectacular Spider-Man variants and stuff, they're not the hottest commodity they were a few weeks back. They really have found their market, and now it's just a glut of secondary market that is not moving because the price hasn't dropped low enough. Now, like we just talked about here, we've seen what happens when the collector boxes dip. There is always an audience for any product at any time. It's what they're willing to pay to get the product that is what is the changing factor, the give or take. We've seen this over the years, things like Fallen Empires way back in the day for players who remember that set. It was like $50 Canadian a box, which means it was $25 US, give or take. And there were some stores that were giving these things away. Buy this box, get that box for free. Excuse me. They were just trying to clear that stuff off the shelves, like they're doing with Spider-Man in today's economy, today's environment. Wizards of the Coast, it looks like they printed too much. Now they got to get it cleared off and moved out. And these stores that have large positions don't want to be stuck with them anymore. Because again, I will reiterate this, small stores didn't get burned. I don't know a single small store that has more than 1 or 2 boxes left. And most of them have like 1 box that's already opened and 1 pack moves a week. Okay, like they're just slowly drawing it out. Somebody comes along and says, yeah, I'll buy a pack. I'll try that out. That's it. I don't know any small stores that got burned badly. I do know a few moderate to larger stores that have too much inventory and they've been trying to move it. I know that. Okay. I also know there were some scalpers and flippers out there and they reached out to me hoping I would buy boxes from them. And as you guys know, there's no way I have the income level to buy boxes of that amount. It just can't happen. And I didn't see a reason for me to seek out those boxes right now when there's just single cards I can buy for pennies on the dollar because there is so much in this actual, environment of play right now. We have so many cards to choose from. There's just a bottom to all these cards and they're really low right now, making them very affordable for any player. Who needs to proxy when it's 50 cents a card? You can just go buy the real deal at your local LGS. It's amazing right now. And I understand the Soul Stone as an individual card will have an uptick when the next Infinity Stone gets revealed. You guys should all be ready for that. Be aware of it. There are people selling these stones right now for, I think, $60 US. Well, it's come down a lot, but it seems to be resisting going lower than that. So I'll be curious to see what happens with that card. And the spike will, of course, depend on what the next Soul Stone is. Soul Stone. The next Infinity Stone and what it actually does. Because the Soul Stone being the only drawn-out card in this set that seems to have long-term value, the Cosmic Foil, the Thanos Foil, or the regular version, the foil version, that's the only thing drawing any value. And they're not really found, other than the Thanos and the Cosmic, they're not found in the collector boxes readily. It's easier to get them in the Play Booster box to get a regular Soul Stone than it is to get one inside of a collector box. It was all talked about in all the subreddits about how difficult. We opened a box in the channel here. We got slaughtered. Although some of the cards are beautiful, it was not a good experience. You can go back and watch that live stream. Crazy stuff. Guys, this is the market we have found ourselves in. Spider-Man keeps burning. It keeps drawing attention, and there's people talking about it every single day still, about how horrible it is, but the sales do tell you it's moving. It's moving at the lower prices. It is being gobbled up. It is being cleared out. It is disappearing from the market. The question is it all going to disappear? Is there enough of a consumer base for this product to continue to buy it? Or are they just going to use up the funds available, say, I've got enough of this product, whatever's left, it's stuck sitting on a shelf? You guys let me know some comments in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this product, how you feel it's going to do in the next year, and do you think it can make a comeback, or is it dead like dinner? Turkey dinner, Thanksgiving style. Guys, thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow with another video. It's the top 10, the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week. Can Avatar top out another full week of being the hottest sales? Has it got number 1 to 10? Or other cards, Lorwyn type stuff, going to creep into the market? We'll talk about it then. Guys, thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow. The Amazing Spider-Man. What a set to talk about. Hard to believe how things have just worked themselves out here at the end of 2025. Here we are at the end of the video, though, and we got to remember to say thank you. Thank you to the patrons, the YouTube membership members, the viewers of this channel. Without patrons and YouTube membership members, we couldn't do what we do here. So thanks again, everyone. There's a market for everything. There are people out there in the toy world who will buy something called card backs. So you look at an original Star Wars toy, they're going to buy just the cardboard backing. Okay? A market for everything at the right price. Spider-Man is falling. Somebody's there to pick it up. There are people out there with very deep wallets who can afford to take the risk on a Spider-Man box to see it turn around. To say there's a percentage chance, no matter how small, no matter how infinitesimal, there's a percentage chance, ramble jamble, that cosmic foil is inside this box. It's like a lottery ticket. And over time, there's a market for everything at the right price. And that's where I think people tend to forget when they're negative about stuff, that something negative now doesn't mean it's going to carry through. It's very hard for the negativity to go on forever. You got to look at 30th anniversary. When will that start wearing away the edges of players, right? When will the old school community say, yeah, you can use those cards? I'm just wondering. Because there is a market for everything. No matter how bad, new people come up and kind of forget what things were like. And they just want a piece of the pie. And they're willing to pay a price for it. Can't wait to see how this one turns out. It's like a story, a choose-your-own adventure. Turn to page 42 to find out what happened to Sam and Dave. Or you can turn to page 109. Sam and Dave split up. One went left, one went right. Who came out on top? Which one doesn't make it to the end of the story? This ramble jamble's over. Move on. There's nothing to see here. Actually, there is. I'm just not going to share it with you.